and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL. And today I am making one of our Blindside creations. This was our 15th of the series. And the pattern number was 86089. And that's over on Bracelet book this time. This was sent to me by Minute Craft. And this time I'm really kind of not sure what she was thinking. It's not one of those super crazy sort of patterns, but it is different. It is, there's a lot of change ups, there's a lot of not being able to do bigger areas of segmenting. Everything seems to be do a couple this way, do a couple that way, which kind of slow things down. But for the most part, everything was sort of straightforward. There wasn't a lot of the surprise. The knot goes suddenly, a different direction in order to get a color where you need it to be. Everything sort of just went nice. And that did definitely make it a lot easier to do this one. Um, I don't remember how long it took. It wasn't crazy long or anything. I want to say, if I remember right, I think this is only sped up 5 times. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 minutes, 60, like less than an hour and a half then. Yeah. So, I mean, not great. It's 16 strings, right? 16 strings coming down or 8 strings going up into the kumi. Obviously, I double it, so that makes 16 strands going into the kumi, which makes for a really nice looking kumi. It starts out with a bit of a arrowhead. And if you guys remember looking at the pattern making part of it, I was not going to do that. But then it was like the math just kind of came out so perfect. It just, I couldn't help myself. It was just too good. Um, oh, so one of the things about this one was this pretty neat. Like, okay, like this light blue coming down, right? It comes to this white and changes. So when you're looking at the pattern and you're trying to determine like what's going where or whatever, a lot of that kept happening where you could see where your change was based on a color or whatever. Occasionally it was where you had to change where there was two blacks, so you go over the first black and then you change it the second or vice versa. A little bit of that, but for the most part, it seemed like following the pattern was exceptionally nice. So in some aspects, I really did appreciate that. I really felt like that was sort of baked into the pattern itself, and that was pretty cool. So there's only okay. So there's this little bit of like the arrowheads, which it's just the darker blue than the lighter blue, and that's it. And then we go straight into the other the meat of the pattern, so to speak. And then there's basically just 3 times that this pattern sort of, I'm looking at my hand trying to describe this. 3 times that it goes through this chunky whatever that is. It's neat. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty neat, but it only does it 3 times. And the weird part is it's like it's 3 times, but each time kind of cuts into the one before it, right? So like there's 3 big diamonds, but each diamond has a little bit of space going into the previous one. So that's sort of interesting. And somehow, again, because it's not overly repetitive, I guess, it just kind of makes it feel like it went pretty quickly. Mind you, there's a lot of like fiddly parts to it, right? So like this black comes all the way out, same on the other side, and there's like a little diamond, and then you got to do the white that's sort of around it, and it'd be real. It's I do try to segment it. I do try to find ways of making that kind of go quick. Um, but there's no like real decisive way of like what's going to be the easiest. And part of this one really kind of comes down to what's going to make it easier to recognize where you are in the pattern and not get lost and do something wrong. So that's a little something to kind of watch for. Um, yeah. And like here, like I'm, kind of wanted to get the blue out of the way, so then do this, and just there's like so many little things. Couple knots here, then it changes. Couple knots there, that changes. In the end, it makes for a very nice, very interesting pattern, and it makes that all worthwhile. While you're doing it, it can feel a little bit frustrating, a little bit like, because I like the longer sweeping rows that just get done quickly, that doesn't, you're not always looking back at the pattern. I like that kind of thing. That's so maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what um Minute Craft recognized when she saw the pattern, that this is, you know, not my typical forte, and that I should try it. I don't know. But I do like it. I do like the colors that were chosen. So there's only four colors. I chose black, white, and two different shades of blue. Um, I could have maybe have gone a little bit different on the shades of blue. They're both, and I tried to describe this while I was making it. So if you were to go back, if you become a member, if next to the subscribe thing on YouTube, there's a thing where it says join. If you become a member, you can actually go in and watch me making this in real time, and talking about the whatever it was I was watching and everything else. But one of the things I kind of noticed is that both of the colors feel flat. Um, and that's kind of hard to describe when it comes to floss. I'm even having trouble finding the words to describe it now. There are some colors that just sort of pop more. They're sort of more intense. And then there's other colors that are they just fall flat. And I don't know if there's any kind of scientific thing for that, or what that really is, or how that works. But both of these colors felt flat. Um, there's a blue. I don't know the number to it, but there's a blue that's super vibrant and stuff, and that might have been a little bit more fun to do, like a darker blue and then that really cool vibrant one. Um, I really kind of want to go look for it, but I don't want to pause videos and stuff. Um, but yeah, so it's kind of hard finding like four colors to all give you contrast without trying to pick a part of the rainbow. That's kind of why you'll see that I use that kind of stuff a lot. Like I would go red, orange, yellow, green, or um, yellow, orange, red, purple, that kind of thing. Is you'll get a nice contrast spread across, and the colors can be on the same sort of like darkness, or the same sort of hues, or whatever that is. So yeah. Oh, so the side diamonds, again, because the bigger diamond cuts into each other, it makes those side diamond things really small. So that part goes by really, really quickly as well, which felt kind of neat. Um, that's sort of. Oh, and I did the thing where any time that you could go straight with it, I did. And did not have anything happening where I was remotely close to running out of any of the string colors. So that's a bonus. Um, but yeah, seriously, I all over the place when it comes to like trying to figure out like what is the smart, fast way of doing this. And I don't know that there's necessarily a right way of it. Normally, like I can find a pattern, I can get into it and know, very with some kind of certainty, this is the fastest possible way of doing it or the most convenient kind of thing. Um, Again, I don't feel like this one really has that. It's just so many little things. What else can I tell you? Not a lot, really. I mean, it's intermediate, obviously. It is not something that I would consider simple. Um, it is nice though. I mean, I really do. I am really glad that this will be in my portfolio and that that's something that I've accomplished. But yeah, it's just a really nice bracelet, guys. I would like to see if you guys do play with it. I would like to see it. So if you want to, you can tag me um, in your Instagram post, or you can share it over on Discord. I'm always kind of, happy to see what people are making and stuff over there. That's always fun. If you need, the links are in the description. Um, yeah, I could definitely see this in some other colors or other things. You know, this you could probably even do four shades of the same color as long as there was enough of a jump between each of the four colors. But like I said, black, white, and two shades of blue turned out pretty darn cool. I also kind of like where the light blue had turned up because of how it's it's sort of just like little bits here and there through most of the pattern, but it gets a big part in the arrowhead at the top and the bottom, which I especially liked, um, because there is so much dark blue and there's so much of the black. This could have been a very, very dark bracelet. In fact, as I was starting it, I was like, ooh, that's really dark. Um, but then when the light blue came in, when the white came in, it sort of helped balance things out. So um, that was pretty cool. So yeah, you kind of that's always something to watch for, right? You don't want bracelets to necessarily be crazy dark or all light colored either. You want balance and stuff, so that's the thing. Hey, we're past the halfway point. I need to thank my Patreon supporters as well as my YouTube members for making this stuff possible. They help me with the things like buying floss, because that's something, as well as cameras and all this other stuff that goes in behind the scenes. So thank you very much, guys. I really do appreciate it. I really do hope that you guys find value in the extra content and stuff from that. So thank you very, very much. So yeah, this is now, at this point, we are going into the last of the diamonds. And I still don't think that there's any kind of resemblance of like this is the way to do it kind of thing. Like it's still very random-ish. But that's okay. That's okay. Um, the big thing again, what is, you know, I didn't want to make mistakes. And so concentrating on areas and finding the spots that kind of made the most sense kind of works. So yeah. Um, Trying to think anything else clever. So because the strings are all doubled up, that gives me, on either side, there's 16 strands that goes into the braid. So I kind of figured out that for that, um, basically it's 5 strands, you know, to each part of the braid. you know, but that gives you 15, so then one of them gets an extra. So I kind of got it spread out pretty nicely where, you know, the black was in one, the lights are in another, and it kind of splits pretty well. So that's how those actually turned out really pretty. So just it's a little something that I kind of picked up along the way. Of course, I think I've always sort of done a bit like that, try to always like split it to make the braids really pretty, but case case I haven't mentioned that at all recently, which I kind of feel like I haven't, that's a thing. So, yeah, this is kind of coming to the end of this one. That's the dark blue. The white will come around that. There's like a little black thing with the white dot. Black comes in, and then we start to go into the arrowheads. And obviously the arrowheads, that one obviously I pretty much have that kind of figured out as far as the segmenting. Well, I say that. I brought the black across and I was going to do the light blue and like, you know, concentrate on the right side. And then I realized, like, wait, no, that doesn't work. I need the black from the left hand side to actually do it. So I kind of got about, yeah, right here. And then I went, oh, wait a second. So I do have it figured out. I just sometimes have to remind myself that I have it figured out. So there you go. Um, Trying to think if there's anything else I could possibly share with you guys. I just can't. My my brain just does not want to function at this hour for some strange reason. Maybe it's just too early, or been doing too much nodding. I don't know. But yeah, so this is coming in on the left, so that way I can finish out the little blue part there, the light blue part rather, because there is a darker one. And then that turns back, and that comes down, and then just one more of those. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I really do hope that you guys enjoy these. Actually, I do have fun making the bracelets, and it's kind of nice now that I'm doing them for your guys' behalf because I was going to make the bracelet anyways. So actually taking the time and saving the video and doing all that feels like the kind of the right thing to do because yeah, it's kind of gives you guys a chance to see how I go about doing it and how long it takes me to do it. So there you go. And again, if you become a member, you can actually watch it in real time and hear me talk about all kinds of things or what I'm watching or, you know, sometimes I watch cartoons, sometimes I'm watching, I don't know, crazy stuff on YouTube. It's random. So almost there. So guys, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And yeah, don't get your strings in a bunch.